make sure everyone has one of these.
What are these?
It's the new safety instructions.
What's behind the ears? This is funny shit.
Watch your mouth! It's Christmas time. So let's act like it.
If you've ever wondered how Spoiler Man can be in a zillion places all at once, now you know. This is Rare Export Spoilers. At least, maybe by the end of the pod, you'll know. We'll see.
I've always wondered that. You're right.
This is middle of the summer holiday spoilers. Welcome, everyone. And thank you, best friend Drew, for doing a Patreon pick. We love it. That's what this is. This isn't the movie game where we pick for each other out of our own lists or give each other a punishment movie. This is just straight up, if you subscribe to our Patreon, you can choose a movie and we'll give it one of these long, full reviews with a full cast, which is what we got tonight. So I got a few of my friends here with me. We're going to go around the table and introduce ourselves. Pappy, let's start with you. Opening question tonight. It's not from Drew, but I have my own kind of reasons to stray from that format and just choose my own. Kind of got a bone to pick with Drew. Maybe we can get to that later. But the opening question tonight, Pappy, is, you know, this Rare Export movie is all about these exports. They're shipping something in a mysterious box. Have you ever had any weird package situations?
Oh my goodness.
With FedEx, UPS, Amazon, anything like that?
Interesting.
Is this all so you could find out what I was talking about earlier today?
Let's just go through the order.
Yeah,
Let's not stomp on each other's answer here.
This is Pappy recording from Goshen, Indiana, where a couple months ago I got a mirror delivered to me from Amazon, which I 100% didn't buy. I asked everybody around. No one bought it on accident. No idea where it came from. And it's like a very nice, kind of like makeup mirror. It's got like lights on it. It's like way nicer of a mirror than I'd ever buy for myself.
Like the Silence of the Lambs mirror?
Yeah, and I do the same dance, and I say the same things.
Cue Lazarus.
Suck your wiener.
Chuck your wiener.
There we go.
And you don't think this is a message from anyone? Like, hey, take a good look at yourself, buddy boy, or anything like that? Like, it's just an innocent mistake?
Well, I guess I hadn't considered it to be like a dig or like a threat, like you're saying. No, well, all of the Google results I saw said it could be a potential scam. So apparently, if you get something you didn't order and you can't figure out where it came from, you should be on guard for that. So maybe it is a threat. My identity is at risk.
Interesting. Well, Stevie, you want to go next?
I've never received a strange package in the mail, but I was banned from like all food delivery services for life.
What?
Nice.
What are the big ones? Like, what are the big services? Grubhub. What's the other one?
DoorDash?
DoorDash. Yeah.
DoorDash is the one that I have a real gripe with because I appealed my, I guess you can call it my life ban sentence like 5 times and they wouldn't listen to me. So, long story short, in the neighborhood that I moved into, there was 2 lots left. And I bought a lot, my then neighbor bought a lot. We started building around the same time. And Google had a son of a bitch time, like, really updating our new addresses to, like, into the world of food delivery. So what would happen is my neighbor would order DoorDash and Grubhub and, like, have the address set to my house. And then he would claim it was never delivered. And after that got processed through, he would come over to my house and pick it up, unbeknownst to me.
What?
Oh, man.
Yeah, so DoorDash saw that as me, like, being in on the scam. And I was banned for life.
That's lame.
Very. He did this like 10 times. Very frustrating.
Were you in on it?
Are you friends with him anymore?
No! He moved.
Why didn't you just swipe?
Wait,
the
you weren't
food?
friends with him, or you weren't in on it? Which
What's
were
that?
you answering? You were asked two questions simultaneously. Were you in on it, and were you friends with him?
I was neighbors with him, so no, I was not friends with him. I'm not friends with my neighbors.
What are you, some sort of freak?
I think people that are friends with their neighbors are nuts. And
I agree, dude.
no, seriously, people that are friends, like actual like friends, like hang out with their neighbors, psychotic individuals. And no, I was not in on it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go next, give Brett a little time to think. Just brought this up to Teresa tonight, my wife. I was like, hey, do you remember when I was getting those letters in the mail that had all those weird names that were similar to mine? And she goes, oh, I have an envelope, and I saved some of the cutouts of those. This is from May 2011. That's around the time this was occurring. No one ever fessed up to this, by the way, but dozens of magazines and newsletters I was signed up to this address, and it was Joshua Longturd, Josh Lung, burn victim, Josh Lopez, Jersh Longfort, Jash Longstash, Jish Lungfish. You get the picture here. It goes on and on. Joshella.
Jashandler Bong.
Josh Longmush. The lungfish is really stuck out to me. I almost made that my gamer tag a couple of times. Josh Lungfish. But that was pretty bizarre. If you're listening to this and you're the one that did that to me 13 years ago, let me know. I'll buy you a beer. We can talk about it. Maybe get you the help that you need. Okay, so that's all of us except Brett. Brett, what's going on with you, man? Have you ever gotten a package or anything weird like that? Like a rare export?
Well, I feel like Josh set this question up because of something I brought up today, but I'm going to turn it around on him. I received something from somebody once that wasn't mine. I was leaving Josh's house about 10, 12 years ago, and all of a sudden I heard, hey, Brett. It was Josh's wife, Teresa. She walked out to my car and handed me this men's magazine that had a half-naked chick on the front that was addressed to Josh. And she was like, he's not going to have this. You can have this. And I said, okay. And then, so I took it home, I guess. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I think he got in trouble, apparently.
What was the name of the
So-
magazine? Do you remember?
I was gonna go grab it, but I didn't want, I don't know if you could hear my...
You still have it?
I have stuff in that bag that I have not touched in 15 years. It's like my old work bag.
Those pages stick.
I don't even know if I ever looked at it, but I just took it.
You've never been to Pleasure Island either.
I'm innocent on this one. This was Teresa's mom had gotten me Sports Illustrated for a Christmas present, and it was a swimsuit edition.
That's an odd gift.
No, this is not it. Nice try. Nice try, though.
What? I don't know what this is.
I think I have it. Again, but by the way, guys, I don't know how many times I need to tell you, I have never and will never go inside Pleasureland Museum. That place is so freaking disgusting, I'd imagine.
Oh, right.
Whoa, you're the one that just brought it up again.
No.
The guilty
Pappy
always
did.
return to the scene of the crime.
Pleasure Land, not Pleasure Island. Thank you for
Hey.
correcting me, Brett.
No, Pappy
The
brought it. Yeah,
expert.
Pappy brought it up. You can't do this. Don't gaslight me.
Brett, did you go to the one in Osceola?
I have never been to either one. I have been in adult bookstores or whatever you want to call it.
No, he used to go to the one in Mishawaka, Stevie, but
No, I've never been. Those are all Pleasureland. I've never been to them. That's disgusting.
since Brett won't say it, I will briefly, even though he left it a mystery. Brett got some sort of package in the mail.
What's in the box?
Yeah.
Currently, he doesn't know who sent it, and it's actually something demeaning, apparently. But he won't even tell
Without-
us what it is, so it's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
happened to
I'm
you?
not going to tell you what it is. It wasn't to me. It was to, well, I don't know. I'm guessing it was for my wife. But without a packing slip or context or a note, it could be seen as a pretty douchey gift. But I don't think I'll be able to find out. I'm trying to tell myself that because I don't want to give up.
Well, listener, let your mind run wild with the possibilities of what Brett could have possibly been sent in the mail, but I digress.
Can it be found at Pleasureland Museum?
I don't know. I've never been there.
Best friend Drew commissioned us to review Rare Exports 2010, and damn it, that's what we're gonna do.
Juuso! Onks joulupukki kuollut?
Uskot sä tyhmä vieläkin joulupukki? Vähän sä oot pentu. Älä tulla jo.
Piiparinen. Tietääköhän iskä?
No sun fajas maksaa sille siitä. Etkö sä nyt pikkuipana tajuu, että tää koko joulupukki-juttu on vaan hämäystä?
Pappy,
Yeah.
give us a vibe check for this movie. What's going on? What did you know about it going in, and what do you learn very quickly as the first frames rolled by?
I knew it was on Tubi, and I feel like that's a good vibe check. We love Tubi. Listen, that's not a slight, by the way. We love Tubi on this
Fantastic
podcast,
platform.
but it does feel like a Tubi movie.
Also on Prime.
Sure. Well, I watched it on Tubi. And it's a lower budget movie for sure. It's about 80 minutes. And most importantly, it's in Finnish, but I think the opening scene is in English, right? So
Yeah, there's some English throughout the movie.
I thought initially Tubi only had a
Got the
subs
dubs.
or a dubs,
Yeah.
not subs. So I was relieved when they started speaking in Finnish. But we find out, Josh, to your question, that there's something buried in this mountain.
This is what's been worrying me. Drilling sample number 76 from 1,300 foot. See, we finally found something else than just plain rocks and dirt. Have a look for yourself, sir.
Yeah, do you think that if I were to consider this indie movie from Northern Europe area similar to Troll Hunter, that would be racist of me? Because that's kind of what Brett said last week when we were having...
No. I wasn't saying that at all. I just said we got to make sure we don't offend them and act like they're the same.
We gotta ask Matt Troll.
You feeling that at all, Pappy, though? Getting a little bit of the Troll Hunter vibe from this, or is that maybe a little bit too...
Are they not the same?
That was Stevie, everybody.
For some reason, when movies come out of Scandinavia, it seems like they always have some mythical creature bullshit going on. Like they love... There was that Border movie, Brett, if you remember that.
Yeah.
With like the trolls. I think that was Swedish.
Of course I remember that movie.
Yeah. Troll Hunter, which you did on this pod. And this one's got Krampus. So, you know.
Stevie,
Classic Finland.
poke in here a little bit. Pappy teased it a little bit. They're doing something on a mountainside, some excavation. Phil, give us the whole picture here that we get in the cold open of this movie, would you?
It feels kind of like a Indiana Jones movie at the part of this beginning of the movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I see that.
a little bit of top secretness going on. They're talking about wood shavings, trees that are, ever so tall. It's it gets to be almost kind of like this, I don't know, part of me felt like the beginning could have been left out, but I kind of understand why it was left in. But it's just kind of like this mythical buildup, right away, like it's almost like a Jaws movie where it's like, there's talks of this shark where it's like, okay, we kind of know what we're getting into right from the very get-go of like, okay, there's something mythical going on here.
Yeah, but what do you mean? What are you trying to say?
This mountain is like a giant ice box.
For storing what?
Drill deeper, and you will see.
Well, I am. They're drilling as we speak.
The location is awesome. And we talked about it on Troll Hunter too, but when they're on top of this mountain, it looks really cool. And throughout this whole movie, I don't know, Scandinavia is just an awesome place to set a movie. I really like how they use this whole scenery.
It's so desolate. It really does feel like there could be something undiscovered in those big mounds, you know?
Are we in Finland in this movie?
Finland up in the Arctic Circle, though.
Okay.
Be a little careful. Not everyone considers Finland to be in Scandinavia. Just be careful.
This is like comparing Indiana to Ohio. They're the same damn thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't tell Matt Troll that.
If we're getting into the geography a little bit, I think they also talk about having a Russian border. So it's like way up there. Everything's, we don't see anything but snow. There's no grass in this movie. It's gray. And there's like 15 people that live in this town, and there's not one single woman folk.
No.
Dude, not any women in the whole movie.
They all left.
It's Lawrence of Scandinavia. Because there's no women.
And just chronologically as the movie goes, we get this cold open where we find out this team is excavating something on the mountainside, and then kind of after this title sequence, the rest of the movie is from the point of view of either the main son or father. Brett, do you want to take one of those two main characters and just give us a little kind of like a character chart of them?
Yeah, sure. So I'll take the kid, Pietaro. Pietaro. I'm going to call him Peter.
Peter's great. Yeah.
Peter's the best way to go.
By the way, I real quick, father and son in this movie are father and son in real life.
Oh.
No kidding.
And they are related. The director and writer is at least like the kid's uncle. I think the main guy's brother-in-law or something. So,
well, yes, you can't find 5 people in Finland, and 2 of them are going to be related.
So yeah, so Peter,
it's getting more and more insulting, Josh. As it goes on. Started iffy.
Peter is
Pietari! Herätys! Pietari! Ootko sä hereillä?
Joo.
Ylös sitten ja pesulle.
he's a kid that like believes he's a believer. He's pretty rare. I did not mean a pun there. He believes in Santa Claus. Him and his buddy, who's kind of an a-hole. I think his name is Juuso. They kind of sneak around. They actually watch the excavation happening. He's just a curious lad who, as you'll find out in this movie, doesn't listen. Just flat out doesn't matter. Won't listen to anything his dad says. So,
Cute kid.
yeah, he's a cute kid. He's a nice kid.
Little dopey, maybe.
Yeah.
He's got that dog.
Yeah.
The like fake dog thing that he pulls around.
He seems to be pushed around a little bit early on, which kind of makes the ending better for him. He's like leading everything. So yeah, I know I guess I didn't give you that much on him, but he's the only child of what seems to be a widower father, and he's got an imagination, and
He's very into Santa lore, too. It's what he does
Yeah.
in his free time, as he reads about
What else is there to
Santa lore.
ski,
Hunt elk?
cross-country ski, which is the worst kind of skiing.
He's arguably like seeing all these clues that something or someone has been roaming around their house too.
Yeah. He's kind of putting it all together, like the excavation. I think, Josh, did he see? Yeah, he saw footprints on the, I don't know what you call that, the overhang or the
Awning or
canopy
something.
or whatever you call it. Yeah, that's
He is pretty obsessed with being like a night's watchman sort of guy too.
Yeah.
One of the little
He
details
didn't
is
want
that
it.
every night he goes to sleep with these like keys in his hand, with the hope that if he actually nods off to sleep, he'll drop them and they'll clang in this bucket and wake him up. But every time we see it happen where he slowly falls asleep and they just like gently lay down in the bowl without making a sound. But he's very, he's very like independent kid, but also a little dopey at the same time. Stevie, will you take the dad and fill him out for the listener if they haven't seen this movie?
Okay, his name is Rano, or what's his name?
Rano.
I call him Ron.
Rhino.
Ron and Peter.
Ron and Peter. Okay.
Kuka niitä yöllä kattelee?
Oot sä käynyt katolla?
Täh?
Siinä mun ikkunan edessä.
Pietari, hei. Mä en ehdi nyt vastailemaan tyhmiin kysymyksiin. Tässä on vähän kiire.
Ron has been through some shit in his life. He is hanging on by a thread. He wants to love his son so badly, and you can tell. This is what makes the movie work so well. Is I'm glad that Brett even said that they're father son in real life. The chemistry between these two is so awesome in every scene.
Yeah, it is.
This man is just broken down. I think he's a butcher for the town, or whatever he's a butcher, right?
Yeah.
And he wants to love his son. I think he's afraid to love his son at the idea of losing him. He's doing his best, especially those scenes on Christmas where you can tell he's trying to cook a Christmas, lunch or dinner. That gets messed up. He's trying to
Christmas reindeer.
He's just trying to kind of get by. And you can tell, I don't know if his wife died around Christmas or
that's a good call.
If the band got back together and she left town around Christmas, but this is not a good time for this man. And I don't think he knows how to kind of be that nurturing parent, but he also wants to be. It's just I don't know, it's kind of a sad movie to watch at times because, Peter wants, the validation from his dad, and his dad doesn't know how to give it. So it's this great tug and pull throughout the entire movie.
It is throughout the entire movie, but I feel like it's really strong and kind of the focus of the first third of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's also the stretch of the movie where the supernatural stuff is a little bit more in the background. And I think that's the strongest act in the movie. I love the beginning. I don't know where you guys stand. Me and Brett were talking about the movie last week, and he likes the second act most. I like the first act. What about you two, Stevie, Pat?
Yeah, the first 20 minutes rule. We should say too, this is an 80-minute movie. So when you say first third, what is that?
25 minutes, maybe 27 minutes.
About right, 24 minutes.
Yeah.
An episode of Friends-ish long.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot packed in there too. And even with the dad, there's one scene where he's making gingerbread, I think, but he's wearing a flowery apron too. And that just says so much, right? That, the kind of guy that he is. He's been this stoic butcher the whole time, but he's also got the sweet spot. No, I love this first 20 minutes too. 'Cause you're not quite sure what's happening.
Well, let's get there,
You're not
Pappy.
sure who is Santa, what's happening.
Let's get to the inciting incident.
Can I hop in real quick, Josh?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Just real quick. I loved everything Stevie said. The only thing I don't know if he meant to say something different. I don't feel exactly like he wants to love him. I think he loves him. I think he's trying to relate to him. But other than that, I think everything you said was awesome. It all probably amounts to the same thing. And I think that maybe the mom made gingerbread cookies for Christmas and she wore that apron. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Before she went off with some Norwegian guy on Christmas Eve.
Band got back together, man.
Hey, I don't think that's what happened.
Band got back together.
Hey, Josh.
Huh?
To answer your question, first act rules.
You're in agreement?
In this movie, I love that Christmas Eve kind of dinner scene between those two. I really love that. That to me is probably the strongest scene in the entire movie.
He loves the cookies, but then he's where's the food? And he finds out it's burnt, and then they're like, oh, it's just cookies. So, and it's funny because they literally, 3, 4, 5 of them are eating cookies throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Ihan kuin äitin tekemiä.
Mukava kuulla.
What's their exact job? They're elk herders? Do the elk just come back at a certain time?
Yes.
I think that's how they survive in the darkest, coldest months.
They
But,
just willingly walk into the electric fence area?
Burying the lead a little bit, boys. This is what I've been trying to get Pappy set up to explain for a little bit. This is the inciting incident to me. So where they meet up with some other townsfolk to do something that they apparently do every year around this time. We're unfamiliar with this as Hoosiers living in the United States. What the hell is this little ritual they have here, Pappy?
I have no idea. As
Come
you said, I'm
on.
unfamiliar.
What?
I mean, listen, like, I don't know. Like, the elk come home. The band gets back together. I don't
What
know
are you
why.
talking about? Stevie, explain what's happening here in the movie.
What do you mean? No, I got it. The elk come back to this pen every year, and the elk don't come back.
They call them local reindeer hunters on Wikipedia. So,
And when they go to look for the reindeer, they all been slaughtered by what they presume is a 2,000-pound wolf, Josh.
The gray.
it's the gray.
Okay. I think there's a little bit more to dig in here, Pappy. For the listener, if you haven't seen this movie, Ron takes his son, he gives him a rifle, and for the rest of this movie, every person you see has a rifle slung to their shoulder everywhere they go.
Good.
In the first act of the movie, I feel like someone's going to get shot in the face like at any time, which kind of adds a cool element to the movie. But they all go out, they meet with the fellow townsfolk, and I think the point here is that they're trying to hunt reindeer. I don't know why there's a circular electric fence for this job, to your point.
No, but it's sick, though. Yeah, that's to keep the wolves away. I just don't know why the reindeer go in there. But don't get me wrong, like, the whole concept of, like, this remote Finnish village in the Arctic Circle where they have to hunt elk, and if they don't, they're all just, like, fucked, you know? Like, it's the gravity of this is huge. Like,
it's gonna be a lean winter.
Yeah, they're losing all their money.
There's a good amount of that in Alaska.
It's not just that their freezers will be brimming with meat once they kill these animals. They also sell them off and get a lot of money from the hide. So it's like part of their food, part of the local economy.
They probably trade them for women as well.
Dude.
You'd have to. There's no women, Josh.
There are women, we just don't see any.
I think what's going on here, they know where the elk go from point A to point B. They migrate through this area every time. They hide out in this fence, pluck a bunch of them, not all of them, because they want the herd to survive. Pluck a few of them, a lot of them off. And yeah, eat them, sell the hides, and fuck them or whatever, like Stevie says.
Gotta trade them for women.
Okay.
And then they're all slaughtered and dead, and that leads them. This part of the movie kind of reminds me of The Thing, which is my first spoilers movie. Yeah. But they have to like go back to the people on the mountains, like shacks. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Stevie?
The Sub-Zero F Shack?
The Sub-Zero Company?
Is that what they're called? Explain what do they find up there? Like what they're pissed. They're like they think it's them that slaughtered the reindeer, right?
Well, they think it's them that cut a hole in the fence out the wolves through, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, they think they let the wolves through. Boys are holding a huge secret. Juuso's being an asshole. You know, however you say his name. Is it Juuso or Juuso? I can't remember how you say his name.
Juuso sounds right.
Juuso. He says like words like "I will flog you," which, I mean,
yeah, he's an a-hole.
I don't know if that translates. Like, I imagine it sounds much different in Finnish than it does like on English subtitles. But yeah, they go to the Sub-Zero F Shack, and you know they really don't find a whole lot besides a giant crater. There's no one there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, miles and miles down. No one there to answer for anything. No $85,000, which, you know, good old Ron is hell-bent on getting $85,000. Not a penny less, not a penny more.
That's the thing. This is a whole village, presumably. $85,000 split between 5 families of like 10? Like, that's all they need for the whole winter?
Need.
Plus unlimited meat.
Math. He did the math. He knows.
Yeah, I guess. But it does feel like the thing, this whole part.
Before the 22% VAT.
What does
that mean?
I don't know. I was hoping Stevie would know.
Is it like Fallout? Like VATS? Like,
is it the VIG?
The VAT
My guess is it's
system?
value after taxation.
Value after tax.
That shouldn't have been so funny.
Value added tax. A consumption tax levied on value added. So,
Stevie, I'm glad you mentioned the kids holding the secret, because that's actually a pretty cool part of the movie.
It's an awesome element of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's resolved
Peter
like
is
in a satisfying way, but
Peter's carrying some demons for a
gotta-
lot of this movie, man. He does not.
Yeah.
Like, he's carrying some hardcore guilt about that fence they cut.
As he should. Especially if he grew up.
I mean, it's just kids being kids. But, like,
Yeah, that's true.
one good thing this movie does is, like, the dads aren't listening to their children. I think that's a really cool element of this movie. Is there's so many scenes where the kids are screaming, "Dad, Dad," and they are not responding.
Mm-hmm. Well, the kids aren't listening to their parents
Exactly.
either.
Yeah.
They're not communicating
It's
well.
a circle
in
of
general.
douchiness. Yeah.
I do want to say too, Josh, like if you haven't seen Rare Exports for some reason, but you're also listening to this podcast, it's not just like a scary, serious movie. It's also pretty like silly. There's a couple of silly parts, like when the one kid has a cigarette and the dad just like pulls it out of his mouth. Like Peter is in his like whitey tighties, like for the beginning of the movie. Like there's like silly goofiness to it, right? It's not just all super scary, the Thing vibes the whole time.
The scene, like one of my favorite scenes is when they have him in the butcher. Like I won't say but who I'm talking about, but they have him trapped. Like that's pretty silly in there. Like they're being silly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're scared and everything, but like the one friend, the third friend, he's like a goofy guy. He's like comic relief, I guess. I don't remember.
They
his
all
name.
get a little softer as the movie goes on. Like they're pretty hard and penetrable characters, all of them at the beginning. And by the end, I feel like you want to have a beer and maybe a ginger snap with each and every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But after they find the big hole and the excavation teams like run for the hills, it's actually after that, I think, that we get the really sad Christmas Eve stuff, right? And from there, it brings me great pleasure to toss this to you, Pappy, for some reason, because there's a Pappy character in this movie.
Lots of them.
And not only is it a Pappy character just right away, but this first one gets injured in a very Pappy manner and has to nurse himself back to health.
Yeah.
Like you have recently. Just give us, tell us this whole thing. What are these guys?
Brewster.
It looked just like he had umbilical hernia surgery, just like me coming out of that pit. So it's a good misdirect, right? Because the movie's been teasing Santa. Like I feel like you go into it knowing there's something about Santa being real. Having like seeing this the first time, I think the assumption is that this guy is Santa. He's got a very Santa look. He's got the beard. He does have an American passport, and he's been severely injured in an illegal wolf pit, putting the main dad in an awkward predicament because he's got this like half-dying guy, Pappy, on this table.
They think he's dead. They think he's dead for sure.
They're gonna cut him up, right? Like that's the first plan is to hide the body. Like that's wild.
So why do we think it's Santa? Can you remember like what are the like you kind of think this is the Santa, right? That's the bait and switch a little bit.
And it's Christmas, and there's also a third character who I don't think we've mentioned. This guy, he's blonde. What's his? I don't know his name.
That's the guy I was talking about. The comic relief. Is it?
Oh, sorry.
Pipparin?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pipparinen?
Yeah.
Call him Pippa.
He's just a goofball. He's dressed
Pappy.
up. Paparina. Ooh. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of gives like Reservoir Dogs vibes in this warehouse with
dude,
a severely injured person and knives being bandied about.
Ear being torn off.
Yeah.
Just to kind of spoil it, when they were excavating this mountain, they released, I think, a bunch of these elves. I think this is this fantasy world's version of an elf.
True.
They look like old men, and they're kind of zombied out. They're like weirdly fast and strong.
And they're weirdly naked.
Hang a lot of dong.
They're all naked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hanging dong.
So much elf dong.
They're
just swinging in the snow.
So much elf dong.
So distracting.
And the only other thing...
Very little shrinkage, too. Good for them.
Oh, yeah. Those guys were fully out.
They all seem to be bound to the will of their master, Santa. And we'll get to Santa later proper. But right now, just trying to describe what this guy is. The first one we see, they're about to cut it up to like get rid and dismember like what's his name in Snatch, Brett? They're gonna feed him to the pigs.
Bricktop.
Yeah, they're gonna bricktop this poor elf that fell in the wolf pit.
As greedy as a pig.
What happens from here, Stevie? Where do the boys go when this guy starts waking up a little bit?
Pietari.
They find out he's not dead, and after an ear gets bitten off because he's smelling like, first off, why would you fuck with a guy with a gingerbread cookie when he's on his deathbed? Like, poor form. Gets his ear bitten off.
Stuck in the middle with you.
And they're kind of starting to realize, hey, this might be, Papa Gijo, Santa Claus. And so they shackle him up and cage him up. And the idea is they're going to sell him back. Right? Like they find a CB radio. They're talking about, Santa ready to fly. And they're like, well, we're going to sell this fucker back for $85,000. Not a penny more, not a penny less. That's it. 22% on VAT. Fantastic idea, right? And then that's when they go out to meet the Indiana Jones guy. Kind of like when
we've skipped some pretty big foreshadowing stuff. That's about to come into play. I don't know.
What's been foreshadowed, Brett?
Well, you got the potato sacks have been taken, the heaters and the hairdryer have gone missing, and all the boys are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I like the hairdryer bit because that was also a joke. The one guy goes, "Who'd want that piece of crap?" And the other guy goes, "That's cutting edge technology in Russia." It's like, damn, Finland.
Russian burn.
You're NATO now.
I think that's a good point, Brett, because I think this whole situation where they're going to dismember and then like this Pappy character is coming back to life slowly, that's one of the longer stretches of the movie, I think. And during that is when you do find out, like from the townsfolk, different reporting. At one point, like the local sheriff drops by, but they like all these weird metal things are missing. And like the kids start missing too, and the mysteries just keep like kind of piling up on each other. To your point,
yeah. I think I told Josh this. It's hard to describe, but my favorite shot in the whole movie, I thought was like really menacing, is when they end up tying the Pappy up and suspend him from the ceiling. He like looks super menacing. Like the camera's kind of back a little bit. Also, he's got this weird thing where his eyes go white, and I don't know if that's an anger thing or he's about to hunt thing or whatever. But
it's the hive mind of the elves.
There you go. I liked the shot of that stuff. But
Stevie, please fill in the lore every chance you get.
Yeah,
I think
they're all talking.
Mm-hmm. Take out the head.
People talking.
Kill the rest.
Talking about people.
Things get a little bit like militaristic here, right, Stevie? I think you're on this path, right? They take one into town, they're going to sell them off.
Yeah. They get to the choppa, and we think, hey, trade, 85 grand. And the one of the Germans from Indiana Jones has a fucking knife in the head. And that's when you kind of started to see like strange things are afoot. Like there's more than one of these fuckers. And the great twist is, one of our top men just goes, "This isn't Santa." He starts acting very funky. Like, turn around, big smile, boys, show them teeth, walk very slowly away. And the movie kind of gets turned on its head from there.
There's these little hints that excavator had. I actually kind of like this part of the movie. Do you remember when he passed out that list to his men? It's like, all right, we got some new rules for the rest of the week while we excavate. No smoking, no saying cuss words, like no looking at
wash behind
porn.
the ears.
Wash behind the ears.
No smoking. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That is funny. But they're trying to like put on childlike faces for these elves and just kind of back away so they don't get attacked. Several of them do get attacked, but Pappy, this has got to be one of the best parts of the movie. They go into the warehouse and they find where all the missing things went, including the children. And they also find the key to this whole thing. Santa.
Yeah, as Stevie said, Papa Gijo himself.
Papa Gijo.
Santa's huge. He's a giant. Well, he's encased in a block of ice. You can't really see him. I know you said this is one of the best parts of the movie. I kind of wish we got to see more of Santa.
I do too, but the creature design looks really cool. Like the horns.
He's got giant horns sticking out of this iceberg.
He looks so cool. But man, I wish we could have seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
is it Santa though?
Oh yeah.
What else would it be?
Krampus?
Saint Nick? Kris Kringle?
Scott Calvin?
Well, like you said, he's surrounded by children and sex. And so were those the elves the elves were doing that, right? Putting them.
Yeah, they're trying to melt him. They're trying to defrost him
so he can eat the children.
Okay.
Because he's gonna f some people up once he gets out.
And he's gonna be powerful.
That's why they put the heaters there. But Pappy just asked why they had the children in sacks, and I think that's a fair question.
I thought they were just gonna feed him to him.
He just eats children in sacks. Are they the naughty kids of town? Is there something to like a naughty nice list?
All the kids in this town are naughty. They're all cutting fences. And
they all don't have mothers.
So
Lost Boys.
I have a little Finnish Santa Claus info real quick. Santa Claus in the Finnish language, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation, is Jalapaki. And it means it comes from the words Julu, which means Christmas, and Pucky, which means goat. So he's the Christmas goat.
Hence the horns.
So Krampus.
Yeah.
The pagan tradition during which a male got dressed as a goat and delivered presents. Krampus, I guess. Chulupuki.
So he's still good. He delivers presents.
To some.
Maybe we're not giving him enough credit. Like maybe if we just sacrifice 25 kids, then everyone will have toys at Christmas time. I think we have to weigh the pros and the cons here of what a real Santa demon means for the earth.
Dude,
Krampus comes from Germany.
He busts into your house.
What about Bushnickel?
Assaults your woman folk, steals a child, eats all the food in the fridge, and leaves a McDonald's apple pie under the tree. And Pappy's like, I love this guy.
Cool. What?
That's my goat. He's the goat.
It sounds like you need to work through your childhood Christmases. What? I think there's some problems.
Stevie, I feel like we're agreeing about a lot of things in this movie, like Act 1 and all that stuff. But would you also agree that seeing them have cut off Santa's horns and putting them in the back of the pickup truck is one of the coolest visuals in this movie?
Yes. That was such a cool idea to not only blow up Krampus, but to take his horns and put him in the truck. It's such a cool idea.
They're going to sell the horns for $85,000, no more, no less.
Not a penny more or a penny less.
They take a long time drilling a bunch of holes, sticking each hole
C4
in with they put C4 in each hole. It kind of made me nervous, how long they were taking. I thought that Santa was going to break out and start creating havoc, but they do successfully blow Santa to smithereens, guys. Did that make you sad at all? I know you wanted to see him, but I mean, Did it make you sad in like a mythological creature sort of way? Like they just killed the last of an endangered species or something?
Who
I
are
don't know.
these guys to play God and kill
Whomst
the
amongst
devil?
us?
Yeah.
I want to know who caught. I mean, how did Santa get caught in the first place and get put a mile under the surface with all his
They said
homeboys?
they said an ice trap for him, right? That was the whole.
Oh yeah.
This was a pre-Younger Dryas civilization that got him. So
Right,
it
yeah.
was more advanced than you would think they'd be that long ago, Brett.
Yeah.
The Finnish
Sounds right.
are famous for their great flood myth. Yeah, that killed Santa.
Everybody knows that one.
No, I mean, it did make me sad, Josh. Like, not just in a I wish we could have seen it way, because maybe it wouldn't lift up to the hype. I think some of the CGI can be a bit dicey in this movie. It is what it is. It's not horrible. It doesn't take me out of the movie or anything. So it's probably good that's just left to the imagination.
We did get a Phantom Menace yippee moment, though. One of my favorite parts of the entire movie.
That kid's like Rambo the last 20 minutes. He's like hanging off a helicopter and he's like, yeah, he knows what he's doing at the end. And then he tries to do the hero thing at the end.
Is that what you're talking about, Stevie?
When he's riding
When
the
he's
gifts
on the helicopter.
and he goes, woohoo! He's riding the children on the helicopter. He just goes, woohoo! I'm like, oh.
Think about how exciting that is to someone like
Why
him.
couldn't we get a yippee, though?
Who-
Why couldn't we get a yippee? Just waiting for it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so Santa is blown up. Pappy, I know you've been struggling on the plot details, and that's fine. They're sometimes a little obscure.
I don't think
in
so.
this movie. Yeah, you didn't know about the reindeer roundup earlier, remember?
I knew all about the reindeer roundup.
Yeah, maybe that was my fault. I admit.
Roundup,
But what?
reindeer roundup.
He's the rootinest, tootinest reindeer.
Thank you, Pap.
Just because Santa's blown up doesn't mean the threat has ended. So what does little Peter throw out here as an idea? Like what goes down here? 'Cause-
Slavery!
No, not yet. Just what are they going to do to save Christmas this Christmas? We'll get to the slavery in a bit.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yes. This Christmas, so while Santa is being blown up, there's also a plot to lure these zombies away using the net full of bags full of children that are being dangled
Why do
precariously
the
from a
children have
helicopter.
to be in there?
Why did they not just poke their heads out?
Because the elves are following.
Do they have heat-seeking vision?
Well, I mean, they're magical, I'm sure.
Put a heater in there. Call it a day.
That's why he said that all the kids had to be there, or else they would just stay back.
Okay, but why did they have to be tied up individual bags? Just let them loose
I
on the
don't know.
net.
Guys, I can't breathe.
It's clearly like an indie movie decision. They couldn't hire like 20 kid extras.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's way easier to have a bag than it is another kid on set.
a kid in a bag.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Also, it really does. We need to emphasize this. I know we mentioned it, but the scene where then all of these elves or Santa's helpers are running towards the inside of the reindeer pit and their dongs are just all flapping in the breeze.
Dude. Those things were like
It's
hitting
funny.
thigh after thigh, just swinging back and forth.
It's goofy.
Guys,
It's
just
a
get it
decision
out.
to make.
Get all the
Yeah.
dong stuff out. Just
So much
It's just
dong.
funny. It's funny. It's supposed to be funny, I think. Like this movie's a little bit of a farce. It's a little bit of a goof too.
That's the most dong I've seen in one movie since Euro Trip. If you guys have seen that movie, which
Numerous times.
I love, but man, could not be made today.
There's
But
something
yes,
like
I love that movie.
like this ending feels like epic. Like, you know what I mean? Like in the way that like people use it. Like it's like the kid does like a crazy backflip out of the helicopter and then there's slow motion of the dongs coming in and it's, it's like the big hero climax movie moment for this kid who's been bullied the whole movie.
Tell that woman
Yeah.
I'm never going to meet what I did here today.
I don't know why you're getting so far ahead of us, Pappy. I thought we were still on the dongs here.
It really does emphasize the lack of women in this movie. There's like infinitely more visible penises than there are women.
Just women in clothes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, not even
bags,
just
just
none.
women.
No, yeah, just women. Yeah.
There's a conversation with one, but I don't think you can hear her talk.
This brings me to my bone to pick, though, with best friend Drew. This isn't actually Drew's first request on spoilers.
Oh boy.
This is his first official Patreon request. He wanted us to do rare exports, but he also, just as a friend back in the earlier days, asked me if I would do Nocturnal Animals for him.
Oh.
Love that movie.
Pappy loves that movie. And he never even listened to the podcast until I guilt tripped him like 2 years later to listen. And he's like, yeah, it was good. So
My point
I'm glad he listened to
is
it.
every time he picks a movie for this and for us to review, it's got this like weird, extended, ugly nudity situation going on. Like, he's got a bit of a kink, best friend Drew,
There was ugly nudity in Nocturnal Animals.
in a couple different ways. We see Aaron, what's his name?
Johnson.
Takes a dump in the yard.
Yeah, he's just sitting there taking a
And
dump.
the porch.
There's a scene early in the movie where like there's this like older woman nudity for like fashion or something just playing on
It's
the
not
screen.
early in the movie. It's literally during the credits, I think.
It's like it's the opening scene.
It's like the first image. Yeah. So thanks a lot for all that, Drew. We love the hanging dongs. Give us more. Maybe I can't wait to see if he ever is able to get a third movie on the podcast. What weird shit is in store for us. Are you ready to get into slavery, Pap?
Yeah.
It's either that or kill them all.
I don't really like the way that sounds. Are you ready to get into slavery, Pap? Yeah. Not like that.
Woohoo! Yippee!
Bring back Santa Crow!
We're gonna sell these old men into indentured servitude.
I'll do a quick little recap, right? They blew up Santa. They rounded up all the elves in a pen. Their master is now gone, so they're kind of like docile.
Kind of like orcs
at this point.
They lose Sauron.
They still want to eat kids.
And if you remember the movie Shaun of the Dead, which is maybe my favorite movie of all time, there's this little quick end scene where like Shaun is playing he's playing video games with Ed, who's his friend, who's like a zombie, and then they have this little cut scene where zombies are being used in society to like push carts and stuff like that.
Hello.
What's the plan then?
Right, a cup of tea. Then we'll get the Sundays. Head down to Phoenix for a roast. Bed chat in the pub for a bit. Then wander home, watch a bit of telly, go to bed.
Perfect.
I'll get the kettle on.
Can I have 2 sugars, please?
Ooh, adventurous.
Actually, I might pop into the garden for a bit.
Go on then.
2 seconds.
Player 2 has entered the game.
Ed!
And it kind of reminded me of this, right, Pappy? Because these boys, the whole title of the movie, Rare Exports, is they want to use these now docile elves, old men, dong-hanging elves. They want to use them as, like, they want to sell them as servants. I don't know how else to put it. Like,
Yeah.
Father Christmases, yeah.
As Santas. As like mall Santas, I guess.
Yeah.
Presumably. Like, which is, they're elves, but they're also like Santa's helpers, which I know sometimes people call like mall Santas that with kids. Like, I don't know. The one guy's getting sent off to Zanzibar, like in a box with air holes. Like, yeah, it's exports, but they're not like, you know, traveling on a plane. Like they're getting shipped there as human beings in locked
Well, I think
cages.
they're probably going to be on a plane.
Well,
but
they know
Yeah.
that these old pappies are like, they can take a lot of damage and come
Are
back.
they immortal?
They're 80,000
Yeah,
years
like, are they signing? It's like a Scientology, like a 5 million year contract or whatever it is. Like you're buying the slave.
I think what's crazy is they just want to get money out of them, but they seem to be training them to be mall Santas. Like there's this whole thing where they're showing them how to like give a gift to a child. It's a pretty extended
without
scene.
biting them.
Yeah, without biting them or turning them upside down and shaking them or whatever. But I feel like if you had like a humanoid that could just do whatever you told it to, there's so many other ways you could put that to work than just being a...
Sex slave.
Whoa.
Jesus, Brett.
That's just one of the
Which
things.
one? Which one?
They're not that desirable out here, man. Old
The
man.
lights out they are.
My God, dude. Yeah, what are these things going to do the other 10 months of the year? Like, are they just going to hang around the mall, like with their mouth open?
They're gonna watch the kids. Make sure they're not being naughty.
They're going to play Halo level Zanzibar.
I don't know.
Great level. All-time top 5 Halo level Zanzibar.
All right, real question. If you owned a large company and you got one of these dudes, what you gonna do to put it to work? How you
Free
gonna
him.
Make the most. No, how are you going to make the most money?
Run from this place.
Oh, man. I don't know, Josh. I don't... Butler?
Gardener.
Train him on a factory job.
Gardener. I'm making my gardener.
Teach him to edit podcasts.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
edit podcasts.
He doesn't know what electricity is. He's from Finland and they're 8,000 years old.
But he would know what a lawnmower is.
If Shad can edit a spoilers episode, so can Father Christmas, I'm sure. But anyway, I digress. Does that about do it for the movie? They train them to be Father Christmas servants and
Slaves.
Did we? I think we did, but we talked about how they lured them into the fencing. And like,
Copter
I
net
know we
children.
talked about him jumping down and was going to sacrifice himself. I just didn't know if
And he said,
had mentioned
"Yippee."
that. Yeah, I mean,
With a bag of kids. Why are they have to be in the bags? Why couldn't they just be in the net? Yeah.
I would have left Juuso in there for a little bit and been like, remember what I said? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he also does confess to his dad
Yeah.
earlier. I don't remember. His dad doesn't get mad or anything like that, does he?
No, he's just like, we're about to die, son. I don't have time.
yeah, they're a little beyond the hole in the fence at that point
Yeah.
in the movie for sure.
He tries to get his dad to spank him. I know we didn't talk about that. That was weird.
A common practice
But
in
he-
Finland, but at the very end of the movie,
You guys never been switched?
we get
No.
Oh,
No, I'm not Adrian Peterson's son.
yeah.
Right in the nuts.
we get this little tag where we do get the title of the movie because after they train the Santas or Father Christmases or elves, they start putting them in boxes, and there's a big stamp on the box that says Rare Exports.
Rare esports.
And
Rare esports.
I hated you for putting that in the group thread because no one had ever heard of this fucking movie, so it made no sense to keep calling it that.
Still doesn't make any sense. I don't know why. I just really
Why'd
like
you do that, Pap?
But this is also it's one of the cheapest looking shots of the movie, actually, I think, with like a big like warehouse of boxes that clearly looks green screened. I don't know if you guys caught
With the
on to that
aircraft
at all,
carrier in
but
the background, it looks so green.
Yeah. that's part of it. I'm not gonna knock the movie for that because it is an indie movie, but it just kind of stuck out to me because I think like having the title so apparent at the end of the movie was a little bit of a weird choice.
I kind of forgot about the name of the movie, and then it was kind of like, oh, I guess these are pretty rare. Slaves.
And they are esports.
Yeah.
I'm happy they did that, Josh.
I like
You
that.
love that stuff, don't you?
Yeah, you love movie titles, and explain yourself, Stevie. I'd love to hear it.
So we're in an election year, and I've always said, if I was going to be president,
First day.
the only time you can show the title for your movie is if they say it within the movie, then the title comes up, or you put it at the very end. This was perfect. They never say Rare Exports. but the title comes up at the very end on the box. Absolutely perfect.
Absolutely perfect. You heard it here. I think that brings us to our, final thoughts section. What do you guys got? Final thoughts for Rare Exports or for Best Friend Drew? Patreon pick.
What was the American company going to do with Santa? What was that plan? Is that ever?
I think they were if you read on, actually it's something I'm going to read in a little bit.
Rare Exports Wiki?
I think those are like his followers. Like, I think the one guy is like a follower.
Wait, they worship him?
I think the one guy does. I don't know if anybody else is in on it.
He's gonna eat kids too?
No, it just says right here. Okay, I'll read it real quick. It says, lured onto a frozen lake and trapped in ice hundreds of years ago, the Julupuki has been waiting for centuries for its followers to thaw it out so that it may continue its reign of terror. So I don't know if it's that referring to the elves or if that's he's gonna start snatching babies again, snatching kitties.
Well, that's not very chill. No, that was it. I just didn't know if there was any like profit motive.
Well, I don't think they explained that well. I don't know if they want you to come up with your own thing about who that guy is, but he seems to know what's in the hole. He seems to know what Santa looks like. Like he knows that old guy's not Santa, even though that's how we know Santa and that's how the people think he's Santa or whatever. But
I agree, but then I think the problem is that they needed to kill him off, but the way they did it wasn't in line with like someone who knew how to like handle that situation, right? Is very unceremoniously just like headshotted. But he's the one that kind of like knew the rules. So that shouldn't have really happened to him, I didn't think.
But that's kind of a thing with demons and bad guys. Like, I don't know if you've, let's see, in the newer, not the newest Ghostbusters, but the guy who raises Zool again, he like worships her and she wakes up and literally kills him right away because she doesn't give a crap. Like, that's the problem when you follow evil.
But that's why then you got to get eaten by Santa. Like you thaw Santa out and he gets chomped by this giant Santa thing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know.
Hold on a second.
Very unceremonious.
I'm adding to my notes. Demons not loyal. Okay, can move on.
Yeah, I would say that, but I mean, they're not known for it. Let's just say they're not known for it.
These demons ain't loyal.
I thought I made a great point, but I guess I just joke fodder.
No, it is. It's totally true.
Fodder. Call me Fodder Christmas, I guess. I don't know.
All right, Fodder Christmas. Give me your rating of this movie on spoilers. If this is your first spoiler because you're just a little Finnish boy, and this is the only movie you've seen that we've covered, and you're here, welcome. But also, I just wanted to let you know we do a yes or no rating. It's just very binary, and you get to talk a little bit, but then ultimately it's just a straight up yes or no. So Brett, for Rare Exports, is this a yes or no?
Well, actually, I wasn't finished with my final thoughts.
Just weave them into your yes or no, would you? You're talented enough.
Maybe I want to comment.
I was going to talk a little bit about the shorts. The shorts. Which I've kind of forgot about. I would say this movie was based on two shorts that were made. One's like 7 minutes and one's like 10 minutes, where it actually, in the shorts, they refer to the elves as Father Christmases. So, I don't know if that was supposed to be anything, but it doesn't matter. I've talked to best friend Drew about this. I actually like this movie. I enjoyed it. He said he's thinking about making this a Christmas tradition with his family, and I think someone should remind him how many dongs are in it. He's got 3 young children, but hey, that's his prerogative. But for me, I enjoyed it. I told Josh, I think I mentioned it on the last one, I think it ended kind of abruptly. Like the Santa Claus ended abruptly. Like all of a sudden he's just blown up, and then 5 minutes later the movie's over. But I thought the creature design was really cool. I'm kind of with Pappy. I wish I could have seen it, but also like maybe with that small of a budget, and probably better that we didn't. It's 84 minutes with the credits. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
It's a dream.
It's got some English in it. It's a little eerie. It's got, like Pappy said, it's got a little bit of humor. It's kind of all around. But it's a movie I think I would watch again. I enjoyed it, and I love in Movie Monster Wiki, his powers and abilities are listed as horns, henchmen, and enormous size. You know, those are the best powers you can think of. I just think that's the only one you can see. But it says the minions are small, skinny, miniature versions of the traditional Santa Claus who eat reindeer meat. So that's it. I'm not going to give it a rating, obviously, but it's a yes for me. I would say a solid yes. Thank you for finally getting me to watch that, best friend Drew.
This is Josh from Goshen. This is a huge yes for me. There's a lot of reasons why this is a yes and kind of a Josh movie overall. One of the big ones is there's like a cryptoid in it. There's a cryptozoological creature, multiple. There's all the Father Christmases, but then mostly there's Santa. I think it's really cool and mysterious that he's like all in the ice and you never actually see him. I talked about Troll Hunter earlier. I think this creature could be like a type of troll from that movie, basically. That movie, kind of one of the points of it where all these different species of trolls, and Santa kind of seems like one of the offshoots, honestly. He just slipped over that Russian border. Maybe went through a little cutout in a fence to get over there. Who knows? But one other thing I really like about this is they use the scenery really well of Finland. It's just like natural, using where they're at with great beauty. And I love that stuff. I know Pappy talks about that a lot. And then finally, I think the low budget made it so this movie couldn't be as that gory. There's a lot of people getting like headshotted and killed, but it's mostly off screen. There's not a ton of blood, and this is just one of those like fun thriller movies. Honestly, Drew, this could be a Christmas thing with your family. I say show it to them. It's not the American way to show dong on Christmas, but let's change that. Let's be more progressive.
It's the British way.
This is the Finnish way.
Yes.
Let's get progressive over here. We got this. It's fine. It's a huge yes for me. We're going in that reverse order that we went in earlier. So I think that's Stevie up next.
Okay. Let's see. I'll say the elf penises may have been flaccid, but I'll give this a rock hard Vigo.
Whoa. Nice.
I am always looking for the new, and I'm so happy that I've never seen this before. I was pleasantly surprised. Pat knows this about me. I'm sure you guys do too. I love a good Christmas movie. Love a Christmas movie. I wear them out after Thanksgiving or day of. It's just time to go start watching Christmas movies. And I will say this is going to make the rotation. This will probably be something I watch once a year, or after Thanksgiving or in between Christmas. I thought the chemistry between the father and son was awesome. CGI is a little wonky at times. The lore is a little confusing, but it's a very enjoyable watch. So, rock hard Vigo. I can't recommend this movie enough. Cannot wait to watch it at Christmas time. Thanks, Drew. Awesome pick.
Pappy, last but not least, is it a yes or no? Is this part of your Christmas rotation? Where do you stand?
Listen, it's not going to be part of my Christmas rotation. It's a yes. It's a solid yes. I do think it is kind of a telling question when you asked earlier, like, what's your favorite part, the first act or the second act? Like, it did kind of leave, like, I don't know, the ending is abrupt. It is only 75 minutes, which is, like, normally good, right? But the thing is also this movie rocks. And I would have loved to actually have seen, like, a little bit more of it. And, like, maybe an extra 10 minutes where Krampus is unfrozen. I don't know. But I really like what we got, for sure. It's silly. Yeah, I think Best Friend Drew, it might be, like, a really good, like, first rated R movie for someone. I don't think the dongs are, like, even that. I mean, they're prominent, I guess. They're pretty much everywhere. But I don't know. They're not... Is that so in your face? It's kind of like a good first little horror movie. Like, if I was 16 years old, I think I would have, like, fucking loved this movie. It would be a classic for me. But as it stands, a very solid yes. Glad you picked it.
All in all, a hung dong is only as big of a deal as you make it out to be, Best Friend Drew. So,
True.
you know, show it to your kids, wife, young daughter, all of it. It's great.
Yeah, show your dong to your... Never mind.
Good pullback.
That's what you said, right? I think that's what you said.
Are you guys ready for a little trivia to see who can toss it out to Spoiler Man? I had a lot of fun talking about rare exports for you, and I'm sad to see it come to a close, but I think we should end this with trivia, as is per usual.
I agree, but I need to ask Pappy if he's going to redo his rating after that solid...
I did. I changed it.
Okay, I saw it in the middle of the pod, and I was like, oh, no. Okay.
What are you talking
I think,
about?
The last little bit just leave a little bit of a bad taste
Yeah.
in my mouth. But just rewatching it now, like...
Okay.
I mean, you were right. The opening looks so awesome. Like, I want to go visit here. Minus the...
What rating did you give it?
Of slavery. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
Ooh.
I moved it up to a 3.
How generous. You're a generous God.
That's a good rating.
It's a pretty low rating.
That's a pretty low
What?
fucking
I gave it a yes. A solid yes.
Oof.
All right. We're going to go in the same order we went in for yes or no's. So I think that's Brett first. One of you, we're going to do a couple closest twos. So it's just who's furthest out gets eliminated.
Ooh, farthest froms.
Yeah, farthest from. So, Brett, you're first on this one.
Okay.
A little game of script tease. I Googled the script of this movie and Command F'd Santa. How many times did it appear in the script?
You talk about the Finnish word for Santa?
It's an English script.
Okay.
So I'm assuming whenever you saw it in the captions.
Man, I'm gonna say 25.
I think it's Stevie.
Huh? Sorry, I just
you're up
had
next.
one of my employees call off work for tomorrow, so I have to kind of rearrange my schedule for tomorrow. What was the question, Josh?
Sorry, hope you're all good. How many times is Santa in the script? Brett guessed 25.
The word Santa?
Yeah, in American, it's an American script. It's an English script.
Just English? The word Santa?
Yep. So whatever they were saying was equivalent to exactly Santa. You probably saw it in the closed captions.
Oh, so they were saying the Gertie Hergen Bergen, like if that said Santa, is that too?
Exactly.
I'm gonna do the Queen version. I'm gonna say 39.
Pat.
I think it's less. 19.
That's why I went 25. I didn't think they said it that much till later.
This is a little bit lower than I thought it would be. Pappy and Brett, you were really close. It was 23 times.
Nice.
It's in the script when it's shown in like the children's books that he's looking at too.
Yeah.
I think that's like 3 of the 23, but Good guesses, y'all. You're
How many
all
times do
a
they
lot
say
closer than I
Krampus?
probably would have been.
Krampus.
How many times have you guys said Krampus in this fucking podcast?
Not
Oh my
enough.
God. Fair enough.
Krampus,
All right.
Krampus.
Also in the rotation.
Brett, you were a little closer on that, so do you want to go first or second for this last one?
If you ain't first, you're last. I'll go last.
All right. At great personal risk, I asked this question. Closest to for Brett and Pappy. The Russian gray wolf is the largest of the wolf subspecies.
Oh, no.
1200.
Individuals range between this poundage and are found all over Europe and the Northern Hemisphere. I took an average of their
The two.
range, right? So, yeah. Russian gray wolf. How many pounds is the normal male adult? Brett, you're second. Sorry, Pappy,
This
you're
is
first.
exciting.
You know what I want to say, but
No, what do you want to say, Pappy?
I would want to say like 2,000.
I'm trying to bring some things Arctic Circle here, and I said I think 1,200. It was never 2,000. You're just adding to the myth.
I mean, they're massive, but you guys are going to get it.
I really don't know. I'm gonna say, let's see, 190 pounds.
That's pretty big. Oh, gosh. Okay, so biggest
The Russian
mountain
gray
lion,
wolf
30.
is the largest of the gray wolf subspecies, with individuals ranging between this poundage. They're found all over Europe and the northern hemisphere
Ranging?
of Asia.
Well, he said he took the average of those two
To an
numbers,
average.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, I took the average of that range. So, if they said it was between 5 and 6 pounds, the answer
Right.
would be 5.5.
What was Pappy's guess?
190.
Dude, honestly, I would think if I was guessing, I would say anywhere between 160 and 220, and the average of that is freaking 190.
Pappy's a genius.
160 is a lot bigger than you think, and I gotta think a lot of those are fur to survive those winters.
Think about a 2,000 pound wolf though, Brett.
True, and they're actually were dire wolves, but they weren't that big either. I mean, they're bigger than what we have now. I'm gonna go 189. I think Pappy had a good guess, so I'm gonna go below 189.
I believe Stevie's question that you guys are alluding to from way back in the day was something like,
I didn't.
what's the biggest wolf type species ever found? The like
no, it was the
bones of?
largest. It's the largest wolf ever hunted.
It was like the largest ancestors of wolves. I don't know. It was a hard question, Stevie.
I still maintain it was only the second worst guess in spoilers
Nah, it was pretty much the
history.
worst.
I think Pappy's
We all agree.
Pappy's guess during cliffhanger is really bad.
Pretty much all agree.
There's been a
He
lot
said
of bad guesses in spoilers.
He said a
history.
briefcase with $1 million in it weighed 1,000 pounds or something like that. I don't know. Maybe $1 million pounds is what you said.
Let's also be fair and just
It's almost as big as a wolf.
we have to acknowledge that sometimes Mikey guesses wrong answers seemingly on purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly under and he'll just guess something over for no reason. But
No, gray
anyway,
wolves are huge, though. You guys are somewhat close.
they're really close. The average range is 152 to 176. That's
No!
164. You got the low, Brett.
That is such a
guess.
large animal.
Could you imagine
Huge.
11 or 14 of those kind of just rolling
Gray
up
wolves,
on
I
you?
mean, those things are like, I think timber wolves are massive. Like, gray wolves are just ginormous.
We had our
Beautiful
biggest dog
creatures.
got to 230 when she was pregnant.
If you like this conversation about wolves at all, do yourself a favor and go see the movie The Gray. Has Liam Neeson's in it.
Comfort
Then
me,
listen-
Stevie.
Then listen to our podcast on it. Stevie thinks it's the best comfort movie ever. I kind of
It is a
disagree.
comfort
It
Well,
is
he
a
said it's his comfort movie. It's not.
It is.
He said it's his comfort movie.
Stevie's comfort movie is something where everyone else is struggling, but he's like, I'm nice and warm and inside and fine.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
he's
very
like
sinister.
It's like my
I put
comfort
it on
movie's
every
alive.
snowfall.
everyone else is uncomfortable, which makes me more comfortable. But anyway, Brett, great job winning trivia tonight. Thank you all for talking about rare esports with me. Best friend Drew, thanks for being a great best friend. Thanks for being a Patreon. Anyone can be a Patreon. You just have to sign up.
Being a friend.
We'd love to have more Patreons. It's kind of our lifeblood. Makes this whole thing worthwhile. But anyway, that's all from me, Josh, your host. Brett, give us a little bit of a hot take and then take us right out to Spoiler Mans.
Oh man, I had a hot take and I won't say a hot take. I will say that I'm supposed to be
Tell us what was in the box.
My baby in a week from now, so wish me luck. And I'll talk to you when I get back. So hopefully.
Are you going to take a hiatus? Are you announcing a bit of a hiatus? Maybe?
Do it,
maybe.
Brett. I did.
I mean, I talked to Pappy about it. I'm going to do my best. I don't really know what to expect yet, so, but when little Krampus is born, I'm just kidding. His name's going to be Julu Pucky. Or whatever Stevie said earlier that I'd never heard of that I'm pumped about.
Bushnickel.
Belsnickel, yeah. But this is the best movie podcast, guys, everybody. That's my hot take. That's the right take.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome, Brett.
join us. You could be a stauncher for as little as what, $3.99 a month?
$1.99, isn't it?
$1.99.
It's dropped?
$2.99.
For less than a cup
Something
of
like
coffee, you can be a
Less.
sponsor.
Yeah. And then
You get 24 hours of content on there. Not available on the main feed.
we have
For starters.
we have some podcast exclusive. We're trying to get more and more stuff on that. But it's a great time to join. I mean, the next 500 episodes are going to be amazing. We got some punishment movies we need to do still. There's going to be some good stuff coming out. I'm super pumped for Godzilla. I know that'll be out probably before this, but thank you. Do you want me to kick it out, or you got it, Josh? So that burp tells me that take it away, Spoiler Man.
Spoiler Man here. Special thank you to our patrons, Matt Troll,
Mikä ne loput on vaan eksynyt?
Brother Brian,
Ai mäkin.
Nephew Quinn,
Hyvää joulua.
Nurse Stacy, Nick,
We are landing in 30 minutes.
Shatty Daddy,
Ne haluu ton takas.
The Wolf,
Plus Alvi, 22%.
Gale, PK, Spencer,
Mikä toi oli?
Barky 420,
Always.
Swole,
Watch your mouth.
Sebastian,
Sample number 98.
Dr. Lar,
Always believe.
Stone Cold Austin,
My dream
Jimmy the Cricket,
that we are standing on a sacred grave on the biggest burial mound in the world.
The Meg,
You have 24 days.
Druid King,
Isä!
Joulun ihme! Onneksi olkoon, Pietari. Onneksi olkoon. Jätkä teki tontuista työttömiä.
Best Friend Drew. Please check us out on patreon.com/spoilerspodcast.
Josh?
That was Spoilers.